Dear CEOs and industry leaders, you are most graciously welcome to Akul Mac Business Bunker. This is a forum where you are able to showcase your products to the masses, to the investor, to the prospects, and to your client. And if you want to promote your company and yourself, you have landed at the right place. Before we continue, do like and subscribe our channel. Hello, friends. Welcome. And today is March 11th. And topic of our discussion today is about Swift, whether Swift monopoly can be broken by some other systems. Before we start our discussion this week, I would like to give you a brief on our Business Bunker program. We invite industry leaders to talk about their USPs, to interact with each other, to basically be online and also interact while being online. Now, these industry leaders can be from anywhere in the world. We are live on 6 social media platforms right now, and this is a live program. And anyone across the world can start networking with our people, our experts. So that is the value we bring in. At the same time, we bring in the element of selling through social media, and you know that social media is pretty large, and therefore we allow people to make pitch about their offerings on social media, and thus they can directly reach out to their clients and prospects as well. So moving on, I just want to also tell you that since we are live, you can use the chat function in the social media platform, whichever social media platform you are watching us from. You can use the chat function to send in your comments or any questions, any observation. We will take up your comments and questions straight away, and we will address with your name. So another thing is that you can subscribe to our services as a viewer by just pointing your mobile phone camera on this QR code, or type in akulmac.live, and you will get connected instantly with us. And if you want to join in as an expert, the link to join as an expert is given in the description of the program. So, moving on, let me first invite our guest. And our guest today is Kanchan Verma. She's joining us from India. Welcome to the show, Kanchan. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. I'm fine, and it's always a pleasure to be part of this show. How are you doing?
I'm fine, Kanchan. So you can give your introduction and you can also tell our viewers about your offerings.
Uh, I'm representing Akulmac, and we are a consulting and branding company. So I will invite people out there to demonstrate their product and their services using our platform. It's a robust platform. So I look forward for people. If you have any inquiry, if you want to know more, contact us.
Great. So, viewers, before moving on, you can use the link given in the description to join as an expert if you have an opinion about the subject. And the subject today is about whether Swift can be replaced by any other alternate system. And why we are having this debate? Because recently, because of the crisis, Ukraine crisis, we have seen that there were a lot of sanctions put on Russia, and one of the sanctions was related to SWIFT. And friends, I think most of us know that SWIFT is a global system which is predominantly used for inter-country transactions. And if you want to send money outside or want to receive money from anywhere outside India or any other country, the SWIFT net is being used. SWIFT has been in place since 1971. It is a very robust system being used by almost all the banks and almost all countries today. Nearly 200 countries are using SWIFT for their inter-country transactions, for transfer of funds, etc. But what has happened is, as part of the Ukraine crisis sanctions, Russia was taken out from SWIFT, not entirely, but I think the sanctions are there. And this actually prompted us to create a survey, because this kind of action, taking out a couple of countries, will also impact rest of the other country members, because they will not be able to do their normal business. They will not be able to transact money, especially in this case of Russia, because Russia is one of the oil producing country. So people who are doing business will also get affected because of the sanction on Russia. And as you know that the petroleum prices are going up, so all people who are buying the petroleum or any other sort of products from Russia will be forced to find an alternative quickly. And for finding quick alternatives, sometimes people have to shell out more money. So that is the reason that I wanted to conduct a survey. What first of all, what people feel about this kind of a move. Secondly, can the alternate system replace, so that the dependency on one system is reduced, and we should have alternatives. And since in India we have something called UPI, Unified Payment Interface, which is very good. So can UPI be an interface or as an alternative to SWIFT? So before we move on, I like to display the survey results. A lot of people responded to these surveys, and we had conducted the survey, and the results are collected, and these are 7 days of responses that we got last 1 week. And the question was, can India's UPI combined with Indian e-RUPI, which is the central bank proposed digital currency, which is not yet launched, but it launched, become an alternative to SWIFT? And 57% people said yes, because digital currency combined with the unified payment interface will become an alternate. Digital currency will be open currency. Anybody can buy and sell those currencies, and because it's going to be a crypto, and combined with unified payment interface, which is very very robust in India, tested and tried. Because if you look at the Indian population, the number of transactions that UPI needs to support are in millions, which is very comparable to the SWIFT transactions. SWIFT right now manages up to 40 million transactions an hour, and UPI is not as traffic oriented, but they also have a good threshold, a good amount of flexibility in terms of managing instant transactions, instant transfer of funds between people. So 57% people, as you see in this survey, said yes, and 38%, which is the next answer, is not sure, because people don't know how it is going to be implemented. So, but if you combine these two results, only 5% said no, because 5% don't have faith in UPI, and they are saying that, well, it cannot replace SWIFT. SWIFT is more robust. So I would say that 95% people feels that yes, alternate system can replace the SWIFT system, so that will reduce the dependency. It will also build redundancy in our financial transactions. So Kanchan, with this brief on the survey that we conducted, over to you. What do you feel about this particular suggestion that we want to make to the to Indian government, and also to the world?
These are some crazy times because the Russia has been imposed with so many sanctions, uh, uh, and SWIFT is also one of that sanction. But I feel is that UPI can play a greater role because though it is untested waters as yet, but I think India has to work on the technology better. And if you recall, a few months back, Nepal was the first country to accept the UPI transactions, and they have signed a MOU also. Apart of this, they have also signed MOU with Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. So it's already going on process. And we say that people who say that Swift is a better technology, but I feel that that the UPI technology is being used by so many people in India. Whole of India is using UPI transactions for many years. I mean, 2 3 years now. So I don't think so. There's any drawback in taking it internationally. But at the same time, when we are talking about the intercontinent or inter-border digital transaction, I think a little of security, little of technology enhancement is necessary. That is one. Second is that already the platform of these UPI or digital transaction is there. India is a part of G20. India is also part of BRICS. So it's very easy to make a block and do a transaction within that. So that's what I feel is UPI definitely can take place of SWIFT with little more security enhanced.
Yes, I Kanchan, and there's another information I would like to give in this program to our viewers, and that is that a few months back, I also tied up basically linked UPI, which is the India UPI, with Singapore-based Pay Now, which is similar platform which is working in Singapore. So because of this connectivity, Indians can make payments to Singaporean, and the Singaporean people can make payment to Indian people without going through the hassles of opening an account, filling documents, etc. And there is a threshold of I think about $25. So $25 is I think 2,500 rupees, which is for a small payment is very good, and at least for this SME segment, this kind of connectivity is going to help in a big way. So without going through any Swift or any other banking system, you are able to transfer money just using the mobile phone. And for the benefit of people, I would like to showcase sort of a comparison between Swift and UPI. And as you can see that the this chart shows that the Swift network is very old. In fact, it's very old since 1971, and Swift actually replaced the older telex-based systems, which was running in, and it made the payments online on the basis of using the messaging codes. And because it uses messaging code, you can have variety of payments. In this chart, that Swift provides variety of payments between the banks, and it could lead even to investment opportunities in the stock markets in different countries. So a person can sit in Japan and they can buy shares on Nasdaq in the United States, NYSE. Similarly, somebody is sitting in UK can buy in Indian stock exchange. So this kind of transaction and robustness Swift provides. The underlying technology is also very, very secure, and the money is never lost. Swift has a very high threshold of managing transactions. At the same time, it is highly secure. Uh, but I think considering the situation that we are, we should have alternatives. And comparing the UPI system, I want to show another chart here. The network of UPI is pretty much similar to Swift in terms of technology. All we have to do is extend the UPI, boundaries to accepting different kinds of payment. For example, right now the LIC IPO can be purchased using UPI, and that is being promoted. So I think one different entities are getting engaged and making UPI more robust. Obviously, UPI will not be straight away able to replace Swift, but the underlying technology is there. It can manage millions of transactions, and it is instant. It provides multiple ways of making payments, and it has the QR code facility also. So you just don't have to even send to a mobile number. You can just scan a QR code and send it. You can also forward your bills to your family and friends just in case if you want somebody else to pay your bill, etc. So, and above all, at least for India, for Indians right now, it is absolutely free. Unlike Swift, which cost money, there is a transaction fee on a Swift because the entire network is held up by a Belgium-based. and they charge, there is a fee associated with Swift. So these are certain similarities. Swift has certain advantages. UPI is a very new system which is gaining popularity. So I think this is something which is going to be good, and if we can find alternatives to and we can reduce dependency on one kind of system, that is my only view. And before I move back to Kanchan, I just want to tell the viewers that we are live right now. If you have any suggestions or any questions regarding what we are discussing today, you can send your questions in the using the chat, and we will get the chat instantly. We will display your chat on our screen. And if you want to join as an expert, the link for joining is given in the description, so you can join live right now. So Kanchan, since the whole lot of mayhem is going on in Europe, because of that, the entire world is affected, and the SWIFT based sanctions on Russia will impact at least half of the world. Don't you think so?
Yes, it will in fact and impact the people who are mostly in this part of the Asian part of the country. People will get infected because there are probability that there will be rise in the commodities and in the services due to this war. But at the same time, what I want to tell you is that the UPI system, as you mentioned, that SWIFT has a robust system at place. But I also feel that UPI is also having a very good technology interface, and it is flexible when we are using. So, but as you mentioned that what we have to do, we have to extend that, and we have to put that technology in different countries, and we are already trying these technologies in Nepal, in Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand. So we are already trying. So we have to take up in a serious way to a greater platform.
I fully agree with you. In fact, there are at least 15 countries that I've read in the media. They are interested in getting the technology transfer from India, because India, being a large country, and almost 99% transactions are digital right now. Cash is hardly being anywhere. And if you can just imagine the number of transactions that can arise from this digital on the digital platform today are in millions every hour, because of the sheer size of the population that we have in India. So this system is completely tested, tried. It was launched in 2017, in that time frame, and it has been running successfully for 4 years without any failure at all. So a lot of countries are showing interest in acquiring this technology. So Indian government is in conversation with at least 15 to 16 countries for a technology transfer. So I don't know what kind of deals they may strike, because the discussion is already on. But I have to also inform the viewers that there are already two systems in place which are parallel to SWIFT. One is the Russian system called SPFS, and Russian system is running since 2014, and it is very similar to SWIFT. The difference between SWIFT and SPFS is that it has lesser number of partners. Unlike SWIFT, which provides multiple partners to transact with each other, this SPFF has only 400 partners, which includes few countries and couple of large businesses across the world. So when West sanctioned Russia from SWIFT, Russian will not get affected because they have an alternate system in place already. It will be the countries who are buying stuff from Russia. So India will definitely get affected because India is buying petroleum, but India can also buy from other sources as well. It's a question of cost. What is the cost of buying petroleum from Russia or Iran or any other country? And since the prices are going up, how India can reduce their import burden? So India will definitely get affected. China will also get affected, and there are a lot of other countries like United States also get affected because it's a large consumer of petroleum product. In addition to that, we are forgetting Africa, South America. Uh, Africa is completely dependent on not only petroleum export but also on the food export from different countries. So how they will make payment for imports if the certain countries are getting affected because of these sanctions. So Russia will not get affected by these sanctions, but then other countries, as I explained, will get affected. Similarly, there is another system which is running, and it is predominantly the Chinese system called CIPS, which is similar to Swift. And until now, China did not promote it in a big way. But now I think the competing technologies will emerge in the form of SPFS and SIPs, and from India, UPI. Why not? I think my opinion is that since there was too much dependency on Swift network, I think that will start breaking apart and people will start having two to three different multiple options going forward. So I think it is apparent that Indians must have faith in UPI, and it is a tested tried technology. It has multiple partners. We should quickly get engaged different types of countries and different kinds of payment into UPI so that it becomes comparable to any other global system. Isn't it, Kanchan?
Yes, actually, it is very much required. I think India has to do pioneering on this system, and we are already using UPI in a great way, but for a small transaction. What I feel is that trading and bonds has to be purchased through UPI, and a great payment system has to be in robust in doing all these financial purchases. So I think that is where we are somehow lacking because we don't have faith in a big bond or trading transaction, which has to be removed, and that will come only with a robust technology. And I think there's also say of government, though government is already working on a crypto type of currency, I mean the digital currency. So this will boost the UPI payment. And if it is actually great opportunity when SWIFT is being banned by European country for Russia. But then all Russia and China, they have their own financial transaction system at play. And then India is also gearing up with UPI transaction and technology, especially in financial sector. So what I feel is a great opportunity that we Indians should work on this system and be a leader in digital cross-border transaction.
Absolutely, Kanchan. I fully agree with you. I think the technology is there, the will of the government is there, the will of the people is also there. As you can see in the survey, I will just display the survey benefit of people who are joining us now. Almost 95% of the people said that yes, UPI must be alternative to Swift. I don't think we are trying to say that Swift can be replaced. We are not saying that. It can be an alternative. People who want to pay the fee and use this Swift system, they must be given freedom to use it. However, especially when the e-RUPI comes in, which is expected a couple of months down the line. I think around June, July timeframe, when the RBI, which is the Central Bank of India, will be launching their own digital currency based on the blockchain technology. Once that comes in, we have the technology to hold the e-RUPI into as a digital wallet into digital currency, which will be completely regulated by Indian government, and it will have the features of cryptocurrency. So when that happens, then it's a logical step for UPI to become global, because digital currency will not be like a Indian rupee. Like Indian rupee needs to convert into other currency. Digital currency will work on the internet, and there is no convertibility required. So anybody across the world can buy a digital rupee, just like buying cryptocurrency of 3 to 4 types right now. So e-rupee will also be a digital currency which anybody can buy. And for that to happen, we must have a mechanism like UPI, which will allow sale and purchase of Indian currency, or sale of or purchase of commodities using e-rupee. That is my thinking. And viewers, if you have any suggestions, you can send in your chat message. Uh, Kanchan, you can give in your last comments.
Yes, I feel that it's high time that we had been using. I personally use UPI for many transactions, and I think it's a very user-friendly platform. So, and many people who are into business, they for small payments they are using UPI because the ease of transaction is there in UPI. So, I feel now time has come that we should find our place on an international market, on world market, because we have the ability and capabilities. So why not use it? And UPI is a great platform, and we have to just rise little up. And one is technology wise, and second is doing a transaction of big amounts, or maybe a through UPI. So that is what I is required. And I also think this is an opportunity for UPI to take a center place in the world.
So, Kanchan, thank you so much for joining us today, and your inputs are very valuable. I think you are giving your advices to people. So, I thank you for joining, and we will catch up next week.
Thank you so much. It's always a pleasure.
So, viewers, most of the Indians are aware of UPI. We are the users of UPI. But if there are Indians who are outside India, and if you have not really gone through the whole aspect of UPI, I think this is a time where you can actually do little research on UPI based system. UPI is completely developed by Indian organizations, and it is hosted by the government agencies, which are very robust and monitored all the time. And UPI can emerge as an alternative to as a payment mechanism, starting with small transactions and then can go up to buying of stocks, etc. Because the LIC forthcoming LIC stock is being allowed to buy using UPI. So a lot of changes are expected, and with e-RUPI coming in, and combined with UPI, it will be a very, very robust and very compelling proposition coming from India. It will also protect India so that these global events do not affect the internal economy. It will affect otherwise if we are dependent on only one system, payment system like Swift. Uh, but if we have alternatives, then we'll be better off. So, with this last comment, I will end my discussion today. Please send in your comments if you have any suggestions or any advices, or if you want to participate as an expert. Send in your email. The email is already shared in the description, and we will include you as an expert in the next program. We come live every Friday. So, see you next Friday, friends. Bye bye for now.